Most of what you do every day, you don't choose consciously. Your reactions, your patterns, your attractions, your fears, your relationships, your insecurities, your goals, your avoidance, your self-sabotage. Most of it is not controlled by the part of your mind you think is in charge. According to Jung, your conscious mind is not the driver. It's the passenger. Your life is shaped quietly, invisibly, powerfully by the unconscious, a vast psychological world that holds your memories, your wounds, your fears, your instincts, your genetic history, your archetypes, your shadow, your unlived life. This hidden layer guides your choices long before your conscious mind catches up. You're not a puppet, but you are influenced by forces inside you that you don't fully understand yet. This script is a deep exploration of how the unconscious controls your life, why it happens, how it shapes your destiny, and how to regain your inner authority. The unconscious is the real author of your life. You think you make decisions. You think you act from logic. You think you choose your reactions. But Jung believed most of your life is written by the part of your mind you cannot see. Your unconscious contains everything you've forgotten, everything you've repressed, everything you've denied, everything you've inherited, everything you've internalized, everything you've avoided, everything you've never processed, everything that shaped you. Before you were conscious, it is the ocean beneath the surface. Your conscious mind is just the wave on top, and waves don't decide their movement. The ocean does. This is why Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The unconscious is not passive. It is active. It influences your choices. It shapes your patterns. It reacts before you think. It guides your attraction, your repulsion, your impulses, and even your dreams. You think you are choosing, but the unconscious has already chosen for you. Your unconscious stores your entire psychological history, every moment of your life, every joy, every hurt, every heartbreak, every fear, every trauma, every rejection is stored in the unconscious, not as memories, but as patterns. Patterns that influence how you love, how you trust, how you defend yourself, how you communicate, how you handle conflict, how you see yourself, how you treat others, how you choose partners, how you act under pressure. These patterns operate automatically. You don't consciously think, I was rejected at age 7, so I'm going to avoid vulnerability today. But your unconscious remembers. It reacts. It protects. It anticipates loss, long before your conscious mind even notices the danger. Your unconscious is not trying to hurt you. It is trying to keep you safe, based on old information. But old information creates outdated reactions. You're not reacting to the present. You're reacting to the past. You're not responding to the person in front of you. You're responding to a ghost. The unconscious is the archive that silently shapes your every move. The unconscious controls your emotions. Your emotions don't come from logic. They come from memory. Your emotional reactions are often triggered by something deeper than the moment itself. This is why you overreact to small things. You panic. When nothing is wrong, you withdraw. When someone gets close, you cling. When someone pulls away, you snap. When you feel vulnerable, you freeze. When confronted, you feel threatened even when you're safe. These are not conscious choices. They are unconscious responses. Your unconscious decides what is dangerous long before you have time to analyze it. It evaluates everything based on past injuries, old wounds, childhood conditioning, primitive fears, inherited instincts, internalized beliefs, unresolved trauma. Your emotional life is shaped by forces beneath your awareness. You don't choose your emotions. Your unconscious chooses them for you. The unconscious creates your relationship patterns. Every person you've ever loved was chosen by your unconscious. Not consciously, not logically, not intentionally. Your unconscious selects people who resemble your early emotional patterns. This is why you repeat the same relationship with different people, the same conflicts with different partners, the same heartbreak with different faces. You are drawn to what is familiar, not what is healthy. If love felt unstable growing up, you'll be drawn to unstable people. If love meant pleasing others, you'll be drawn to relationships where you overgive. If love required silence, you'll be drawn to partners who don't listen. If love meant walking on eggshells, you'll gravitate toward unpredictable personalities. You think you're choosing love, but your unconscious is choosing familiarity. And until you become conscious of the pattern, it will continue choosing for you. Your entire romantic life is unconsciously guided until you consciously intervene. The unconscious contains the shadow. The shadow is the part of your unconscious that holds everything you reject about yourself. Your anger, your insecurities, your confidence, your desires, your jealousy, your softness, your strength, your sexuality, your vulnerability, your ambition, your creativity, your authentic feelings. Anything you were taught was unacceptable became shadow material. Here's the important part. The shadow does not disappear. It acts. It acts through self-sabotage, projection, jealousy, overreaction, passive aggression, avoidance, addiction, numbness, people-pleasing, sudden rage, relationship chaos. These behaviors are the shadow trying to express itself without your awareness. The shadow controls your life precisely because you refuse to see it. You push it down and it pushes back. This is why Jung said, the shadow is the seat of creativity and destruction. It is powerful, it is alive, and it shapes your behavior every day until you integrate it. The unconscious chooses your fears. You think your fears are rational. They aren't. They're symbolic. You're not afraid of rejection. You're afraid of childhood abandonment. You're not afraid of failure. You're afraid of disappointing the people you once depended on. You're not afraid of intimacy. You're afraid of reliving old emotional wounds. You're not afraid of conflict. You're afraid of the punishments conflict brought in your past. You're not afraid of success. You're afraid of the responsibility that past authority figures demanded. Your fears are echoes, old wounds masquerading as new dangers. The unconscious chooses your fears based on unresolved pain. Until that pain is faced, the unconscious uses fear as a protection strategy. The unconscious decides your self-image. Your self-image is not chosen. It is inherited. You learned who you are before you had the ability to question it. You absorbed messages like, you're too sensitive. You're too emotional. You're not enough. You're too much. You're difficult. You're the problem. You're responsible for others' feelings. You're unworthy of attention. Your needs are inconvenient. Your dreams are unrealistic. Those messages became your identity. Your unconscious accepted them as truth. And now, you don't see yourself clearly. You see yourself through internalized projections from your past. The unconscious chooses your self-image until you consciously rewrite it. The unconscious controls your decisions. Most decisions you make aren't really decisions. They are reactions to unconscious conditioning. You avoid opportunities because success threatens your old identity. You sabotage relationships because intimacy triggers old wounds. You procrastinate because you fear failure or fear success. You stay in toxic dynamics because chaos feels familiar. You overwork because your worth is tied to productivity. You endure disrespect because your unconscious believes you don't deserve better. You choose comfort over possibility. All of this is unconscious. And until the unconscious becomes conscious, you believe these choices are rational. But they are reflexes, not decisions. The unconscious speaks through dreams. Dreams are not nonsense, they are messages. The unconscious uses symbols because symbols are the language of the psyche. When your unconscious needs your attention, it speaks through water, animals, houses, dark forests, broken objects, new rooms, old memories, deaths and births, strangers, lovers, monsters, children, old versions of yourself. These images are not random. They are metaphors For unresolved psychological material, a dream about drowning may symbolize emotional overwhelm. A dream about an intruder may symbolize a part of yourself you have rejected. A dream about missing a train may symbolize fear of missing your destiny. Your unconscious speaks. Every single night, most people just don't listen. Jung believed. Your unconscious contains ancient patterns of behavior called archetypes. These archetypes influence your personality, your relationships, your choices, and your destiny. Some archetypes include the hero, the caregiver, the rebel, the lover, the child, the warrior, the sage, the victim, the creator, the saboteur, the trickster, the self. These archetypes activate in different moments of your life. The hero awakens when you need courage. The child awakens when you feel vulnerable. The saboteur awakens when change threatens your identity. The warrior awakens when boundaries are needed. The lover awakens when intimacy calls. The self awakens when individuation begins. These forces live inside you, whether you acknowledge them or not. They influence your choices long before you consciously decide how to act. If you ever wondered, why does this keep happening to me? The answer is simple. Your unconscious repeats patterns until you become aware of them. You attract similar partners. You react the same way in conflict. You fall into the same emotional cycles. You sabotage yourself at the same point. You recreate childhood wounds in adulthood. You relive the same relational dynamics. Not because you want to, because you are unconsciously trying to resolve something from your past. The unconscious repeats what is unhealed, not to punish you, but to give you another chance to respond differently. Patterns are signals. The unconscious repeats them until you understand the lesson. This is perhaps Jung's most powerful idea. When you are unconscious of your inner world, your life becomes predictable. Your relationships follow the same script. Your emotions follow the same cycles. Your choices follow the same fears. Your dreams remain unrealized. Your potential stays trapped. Your authentic self remains hidden. The unconscious dictates your path, and you call it fate. But Jung didn't believe in fate as something external. He believed fate is psychological. Your destiny is the expression of your unconscious patterns. When you become conscious of those patterns, you become capable of change. Awareness is the beginning of freedom. You cannot see the unconscious directly, but you can see its effects. The unconscious reveals itself through your triggers, your projections, your emotional reactions, your relationship patterns, your dreams, your fears, your fantasies, your attractions, your repulsions, your habits, your addictions, your resistance, your self-sabotage, your impulsive choices, your bodily sensations, your recurring thoughts, your unexplained sadness, your unexplainable joy, your intuition. Every one of these is a voice of the unconscious. Your unconscious is constantly communicating. Most people simply ignore the language. You cannot control the unconscious completely, but you can create dialogue. Here's how. Step 1. Notice your patterns. Ask, what keeps repeating in my life? Patterns are the fingerprints of the unconscious. Step 2. Observe your emotional reactions. Ask, why did this small thing cause a big reaction? Large reactions come from old wounds. Step 3. Pay attention to your dreams. Ask, what is my psyche trying to show me? Dreams are the direct voice of the unconscious. Step 4. Study your triggers. Triggers are not about the present. They are about the past. They reveal unresolved material. Step 5. Watch your projections. When you strongly dislike someone, for no clear reason, that is your shadow. When someone fascinates you, for no clear reason, that is your shadow too. Projection is the unconscious, trying to become visible. Step 6. Notice your resistance. Resistance is the unconscious saying, I'm not ready for this. Explore it instead of fighting it. Step 7. Practice inner observation. Sit with yourself. Ask questions. Write. Reflect. Feel. Your unconscious reveals itself in stillness. Step 8. Embrace shadow integration. Ask, what parts of myself do I judge, reject, or fear? Those parts are the missing pieces of your wholeness. Step 9. Align your actions with your truth. Every time you act from authenticity, the unconscious becomes conscious, and the conscious becomes empowered. Part 15. The moment you see the unconscious clearly, awareness creates transformation. Suddenly, your triggers become teachers, your patterns become clues, your emotions become messages, your fears become gateways, your relationships become mirrors, your dreams become guidance, your reactions become understandable. Your shadow becomes integrated, your identity becomes flexible, your potential feels reachable, your life feels intentional. You stop living on autopilot. You stop repeating your past. You stop being controlled by fears you didn't know you had. You begin choosing instead of reacting. You begin creating instead of repeating. You begin living instead of surviving. You begin awakening to the truth of who you are. Part 16. The final truth. The unconscious controls your life when you ignore it. But when you listen, when you pay attention, when you explore it, when you become curious, when you begin integrating the parts of yourself that you once rejected, everything changes. You become whole. You become aware. You become free. Your unconscious stops controlling your fate and starts guiding your evolution. This is individuation. This is awakening. This is psychological adulthood. This is inner liberation. The unconscious is not your enemy. It is your deepest self, your forgotten self, your unlived self, your potential. And it is waiting for the moment you are finally ready to know yourself fully. That moment begins now.